Hello, Grapperinos, and welcome to another exciting episode of Probably Next Week on Smackdown. I'm Bryon, and once again joined by a guy who is so excited on Saturday to see the most important match ever in the history of professional wrestling. That's right, it's Seth Rollins versus LA Knight. He's excited for that match. It's Mike. Say hi, Mike.
I am fully ready to watch Seth Rollins and LA Knight go out and give me a good 15-minute, 10-minute match. Yep,
It's
most
gonna
important
be
match in history.
very important. We get to see if Seth Rollins is a great professional wrestler, even at his age. I don't think that he's going to necessarily drag the match down by himself. I think LA Knight, with how old he is, I think he's definitely going to carry the match, carry Seth Rollins to a really good match. It's probably going to be a lot of. I'm hoping it's not going to be a lot of finisher spam, where Seth Rollins does some stomps and LA Knight counters that into some good old fashioned. What is it called? What is it called? His finishing move? I forgot what.
FT to
BFT?
BFT.
Yeah, blunt force traumas. You know, it's gonna be a great match, and that and so many more is what's in store for Saturday night's main event. And this SmackDown is pretty much a go home show, at least for the SmackDown side. On the Saturday night's main
Can
event,
I,
yeah,
can I point out something? So I was looking at both cards today of both Evolution and Saturday Night's main event.
yeah,
And if you look at the cards, like almost all of the fights on Saturday Night's main event are Raw, and almost all the fights on Evolution are SmackDown. So you
yeah.
might as well just make it as a pay per view. It's essentially a pay per view, but not really a pay per view.
I think there were only like three matches on Saturday night's main event, and for
There's like
Evolution,
Evolution,
it's like six
yeah. So it's essentially a pay per view.
on Sunday, mind you. It's not on the
Yes.
same day. It's on Sunday. I'm
Oh,
guessing
Evolution's on
it's
Sunday. I thought Evolution was after Saturday Night's main event.
dude. Saturday night's main event is Saturday night. If Evolution was on the same day,
I
it
thought
would
Evolution
be
was before that. I thought Evolution was before that, but I guess not.
no.
All right,
It's
all
on
right.
Sunday. And it's certainly not because they want to compete with another wrestling show that's happening on the same day from a different company. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But that is the time that we live in, I guess. So we're dealing with a go home show, and it's a SmackDown. So not a lot of matches for Saturday night's main event to build up to on the SmackDown side. But we will try anyway, and we are going to book the next episode of SmackDown using these rules. Although, with what's happening now, I guess we can disregard Rule 1 for now until they decide to, follow the rules of the brand split, which they haven't been doing since, oh, I don't know, the start of WrestleMania build. But whatever. We're going to do these bookings and predictions according to these rules, and after we relay them to you on this episode, we will watch the next episode of SmackDown, and we're going to score our predictions and bookings using this patented scoring system. And it's there. And with that, we are going to get to the scores. I got a lot of points here, but not enough to close the gap. I think we're still looking at a 10-point lead for Mike. Mike, you also got a lot of points, so yeah. Any commentary on here? Any commentary on these points?
Yeah, I'm gonna say that I actually pulled a lot of points from my first two predictions last week.
Yeah.
I said that there'd be a three-way fight between it was Alexa Bliss, Charlotte Flair, Secret Hervis, and Mission and BFAB, and I said they would win by a pinfall, and that happened to a T. I also said that Drew McIntyre would come back and interrupt the opening promo with Cody Rhodes and John Cena. So that also happened as well. And they did end up having a fight at Saturday night's main event. So
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
all my points basically from there, and I got the rest of the show wrong.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I think I've gotten a couple of things right from what I have, which is why there's a lot of points. And with the whole Seth Rollins being on both shows, I guess that helps me, but still not enough. Still not enough. We'll see if this week I can close the gap or if you can extend the lead. And we will move on to the announced matches for the next episode. We got Street Profits versus the Wyatt Six for the WWE Tag Team Championships. And we have Ron Killings, or R-Truth, however you want to call him, as he takes on Aleister Black one-on-one. And with that, let's book this thing. Starting off with my version of the show, as Drew McIntyre enters the ring. He talks about Randy Orton and how much of a Nepo baby he is, and says some edgy, maybe Reddit moderator kind of thing about Randy Orton. Yeah, some references, I suppose, about Randy Orton being not charismatic, not as charismatic as his father or something like that. And he references the attack that Randy Orton laid on him last week. And he talks about the eventual Saturday night's main event match that he will have with Randy Orton. And says that, he is going to lay Randy Orton to rest. And he will be where he is meant to be, on the bottom card. Or something like that, I guess. And then we're going to have Randy Orton come out and talk about his match against Drew McIntyre at Saturday night's main event. He says that, he may be uncharismatic, but you know what? He still laid down Drew McIntyre with just one RKO. And they go do a little back and forth. And that eventually leads to Randy Orton RKOing Drew McIntyre. Well, attempting to, at least. However, Drew sees what's coming, and he just straight up assaults, punches back Randy Orton, and Randy Orton does not get to lay another RKO on Drew because Drew is on top. And after the beatdown, of course, that Drew lays down on Randy Orton, and that's it. That will be the build up to their match. I'm guessing Randy Orton wins this match. And Drew can, I don't know, go somewhere else. Maybe go after the US Championship or something. I don't know. But, whatever. Good match. Not much stakes going on here. And we're going to move on from that to Julia versus BFAB. I put this on here because, I don't know, we got to get some women US Championship representation on the show. And we're going to have Julia win by pinfall because she's the champion, obviously. And then we're going to have Michin come in to tend to BFAB after the match is over, while Julia smiles, walking to the back because of how she beat up BFAB and won. So I think we're going to have some sort of rivalry, I suppose, or feud between Julia and Michin and BFAB. Yes, I know, but how many women are on Smackdown again? So, yeah. Gonna have that, I suppose. I don't know. I just put some women together here. And we're gonna move on from that to Andrade and Rey Fenix as they take on DIY in a standard tag match. I'm gonna have Andrade and Rey Fenix continue their momentum from last week and win by pinfall. And I think they're gonna position them to be the number one contenders for the tag team championships after something else happens later in the show. But we're gonna have Andrade and Rey Fenix win, and after that they can, I don't know, challenge some other tag team, continue their uprise, if that's even a word, their rise in momentum as they become the new contender. And we're going to move on from that to Naomi having a promo. She talks about her match with Jade Cargill at Evolution. Yes, she has a match with Jade Cargill at Evolution, and it's not just a normal match. It's a no holds barred match, which means it's a no DQ match. But anyway, she's going to talk about how she is going to decimate Jade Cargill and how Jade Cargill should proceed with extreme caution, and how she's gonna win that no holds barred match, and she's gonna cash in and win the women's championship, I suppose. Cash in on who? I have no idea. It could be Rhea Ripley and Io Sky. It could be Tiffany Stratton and that other woman whose name I forgot. But anyway, we're gonna have Tiffany come out and she's gonna say something about her match at Evolution and how no matter what Naomi does, including the cash in, she is not going to succeed in cashing in, and cashing in will just not work because it's Tiffy time, I suppose. And then while Naomi is sort of responding to that sort of conversation from Tiffany Stratton, she is then attacked by Jade Cargill from behind. And this does two things. Number one, it promotes Naomi versus Jade Cargill for their no holds barred match, and we're gonna have a little brawl. We're gonna have Jade Cargill break some tables, Naomi get some chairs. I don't know. We'll just have a wild brawl between the two. And number two, it's probably gonna have some cash in consequences on the match between Tiffany Stratton and Trish Stratus at Evolution. So that's what I'll have that promo segment set up to do. And we move on from that to Aleister Black versus R-Truth. Finally, the two go at it. And as I said earlier, when this match was predicted or booked, predictively booked, I suppose, for last week's episode of Smackdown, I am going to have it end in a DQ not because Aleister Black decided to get hit by a chair by R-Truth or something like that. No, because Damian Priest decides to intervene and attacks Aleister Black, which leads to a match announced at Saturday night's main event between Aleister Black and Damian Priest. Yup. I'm gonna have another match added to Saturday night's main event, and I think that makes sense. I think. Because they had some backstage interactions, and it seemed like the two were on, not on ease, as some people might call it. So I think that's gonna happen. And there's going to be a match added at Saturday night's main event between Aleister Black and Damian Priest. And from that, we go to an LA Knight promo as LA Knight walks to the ring, talks about his match with Seth Rollins at Saturday night's main event. He gets attacked by Seth's faction, Bronson Reed, Braun Breaker, and Seth Rollins. Again, this is just to build up their match at Saturday night's main event. And they're then attacked by Penta and Jay and any other people who want to attack any other person who wants to take on Seth Rollins and the Bronze. And we're going to have Seth escape as the brawl happens between his men. I don't know why. I'm booking him as like a cowardly heel or something with this, but I don't know. Whatever. It's going to build up to LA Knight versus Seth Rollins, and we're going to have Seth's faction go out on top because LA Knight might win. I don't know. I hope he does tomorrow, but whatever. And then, for the main event, it's going to be Street Profits versus the Wyatt Six. I know it says tonight, but, you know, I'm reusing assets. It's called Saving Money. And we're going to have Wyatt Six win by pinfall. They are going to be the new tag team championships. And because I positioned Andrade and Rey Fenix earlier on in the show to win their tag match, I'm going to have it build into a Wyatt Six versus Andrade and Rey Fenix as the first tag team defense, or I should say tag team title defense by the Wyatt Six. And I don't know, maybe we're gonna have this sort of situation where they're gonna have a tag team gauntlet or something at SummerSlam, and I don't know. We're gonna have another tag team challenge the Wyatt Six for tag team supremacy, but they lose because the Wyatt Six are pretty cool, I guess. I don't know. Any questions?
So you really have Randy going over on Drew McIntyre?
I have Drew McIntyre.
Or Saturday. I mean, Saturday, you have Randy going over Drew McIntyre.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Because they love Randy Orton.
Yeah, I know, but like, I guess my thinking was they want to start building up Drew McIntyre again because Drew McIntyre is a main event talent who they treat like a mid carder. Like he definitely can carry a main event feud. He has carried main event feuds, and he definitely needs to be given another chance at the title again. And I think they're going to build him back up by starting him off by beating Randy Orton. Now, I mean, Randy can take an L. It's Randy Orton, all right. He can take a loss.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you can take. But I do think that they love Randy Orton, and as much as they also love Drew McIntyre, I think they're gonna have him positioned not in the main event feud. They're gonna have him go after the U.S. Championship, just the lower card title first, and then once he sort of solidifies himself there, he can go to the main event spot. I know that sounds terrible and weird, but I think that's the usual sort of route when these wrestlers go from one show to another, and just go, hey, you start from the bottom, you go all the way up to the top, and there you go. I think they're just going to do a slow rise of Drew McIntyre in terms of his status in the show. And they're going to have him just go mid-card feud and then go to the main event once he sort of solidifies himself there. And I mean, that's why he had the feud with Damian Priest. And then now his next feud is probably going to be another sort of mid-card feud to sort of solidify himself there. But yeah. And then Randy Orton can go into the Cody storyline after Cody versus Cena happens. So yeah. Any other questions?
we can get into my card.
All right, let's get to your card. Starting off with
a Drew McIntyre promo. Says that Randy Orton is an old man. How old is Drew McIntyre? Is he like late 40s? I know Randy Orton is like his 50, right? Is he close to 50? Or is he like he's mid to late 40s, right? I think Drew McIntyre is a little younger than him, right?
he is he is 40 years old.
Damn,
Drew McIntyre is
pretty young. Pretty young in terms of in terms of WWE years. So he says Randy Orton's an old man, needs to get put out to pasture, and he's going to win that on Saturday. Orton comes out, and RKO is Drew out of nowhere. That's how the opening promo wins. And like I said, I think Drew McIntyre goes over on Saturday because they want to build him back up to be a title contender and possibly take it from John Cena.
All right. I mean, yeah. I think he's in this sort of case where I don't know what they want to do with him, I suppose. Like, it's kind of obvious that Drew McIntyre's main event status, right? He's sort of a top guy in the company. But they kind of don't know which feuds they want to insert him into. So it's just like, yeah, I don't know, mid-card feud, and then you go to, I don't know, Randy Orton. Do you think they could stretch out this feud? Assuming Drew McIntyre wins and then have another match with a stipulation at Clash in Paris or something? Or SummerSlam? Do you see that extending?
I could see this being a three-peat. But I don't know. They've already done like the three-peat feud with Drew McIntyre and CM Punk, and it would just be like them. What am I saying? They love to run shit back, so yeah, probably it's going to be a three-peat.
Yeah.
With probably a they're probably going to have a fight, like a no disqualification fight at SummerSlam, and then they're going to have their final match, Clash in Paris. Probably they're going to call it like a Paris street fight or whatever the fuck the name is in French, Han Jesus Baguette, or something like that. And that'll be the end of it.
All right. Okay. I can see that happening for sure. And we go from that to
Fraxium versus Pretty Deadly. Fraxium win via pinfall. Fraxium, I think they're building Fraxium up to be the number one contenders for the title because everyone else has already had their chance and has basically already had the titles for a little bit. So I think Fraxium is the next in line. And they started that last week by having them win over Andrade and Rey Fenix. They won last week over Andrade and Rey Fenix, right?
I don't think so.
I
think Andrade and Rey Fenix won.
Why did I see a thing that said they did? Did I completely just misbook this because I misread it?
It's okay. It's okay. You put Pretty Deadly on here anyway, even though one of them is injured, so...
Is one of them injured?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Bro, SmackDown Hotel sucks, man. Holy shit. Man. No way.
Now you see what Road Dogg is going through. You know, he's like, okay, gotta book the show. Ah, shit. Half of these guys are freaking injured. God damn it. What team?
It is. He is listed as injured. Okay, my bad. Damn. Well, alright. You lost this one.
It's okay. It's fine.
Let me look this up.
Who knows? They might come back. They might come back this week. Who knows? We've seen that happen before.
Oh, they did defeat it. Okay, shit. All right, whatever. All right. Well, I lost this one because I didn't read carefully enough. All right, fucking next prediction.
Who knows? You know what? Maybe Road Dogg might have the decency to book the match. I don't know. Anyway.
All right. I have a Tiffany Jeez, like confusing the two blonde bitches. I have a Tiffany Stratton promo putting over Trish Stratus. Thank you. She puts her over as like a legend, as a women's wrestler, yada yada, whatever. There's like good vibes all around. You know, Trish leaves the ring, and then Naomi jumps in, tries to attack Tiffany, lays her out with a briefcase, tries to get a ref in, and before she can cash in, she is attacked by Trish, who saves Tiffany from being cashed in on. And that is how that promo ends.
So you're not going to have Jade appear in this one?
No, because I think this is going to set the stage for if Naomi tries to cash in again, that Trish will save Tiffany again. And I think that might start a feud between the two, where they like try to do. I think they do want to do a Tiffany and Trish. Wow, this is going to be terrible. A Tiffany and Trish feud.
Is it Tiffy time or Trishy time? You decide. Oh boy.
Booba.
I mean, either way, the audience wins, if you know what I mean. But okay, so
it's very late. It's very late.
It's very late.
It's late and it's very hot in this room.
All right. Okay. So, all right. So this is is this a failed cash-in, or is this just her teasing a cash-in?
This is a failed cash-in, but not actually. It's like when when they give the like she lays her out. She has the briefcase. She's standing there like waiting for a ref to come out, and the ref takes 5 minutes to get to the ring. And by the time the ref gets in, and she like gives him the briefcase, and she stands there for like 10 seconds. She's like, "Oh, I'll take it. Yes, I'm cashing in. Yes, here's the briefcase. Yes, the briefcase is right." And then she gets taken out without even cashing in.
Yeah, they do that. They love to do that spot many times, and things have not changed since then. So
nope.
There we go. Evolution, everybody.
Is like, you cashing in? Yes. Okay, you're cashing in.
Okay,
yes, you're actually cashing in. Yes, you're cashing. I'm like, yes, bro. They said it already.
I fucking love that cliche.
It's so goofy.
It's so stupid. Anyway, all right, we're gonna move on to Evolution, everybody.
We're going to move on to Ron Killings versus Aleister Black. Aleister Black, I think, wins by a pinfall. I don't know why we're putting Ron Killings in this random feud after he was brought back with so much goddamn momentum. I mean, the pop for him coming back was absolutely insane. And we're putting him in this weird feud with Aleister Black. I don't know why. But I think they want to keep Aleister Black hot, and I really don't know why or how Ron Killings would win this one. And it just seems like they're almost like suppressing him or almost beating down. What's the term for when someone else like just suppresses someone in position on the card? What is it called? Thank you. They're burying Ron Killings for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe because it wasn't a work and they're mad that he had to pay him now. Maybe it was a work.
That could be the case. Yeah, that could be the case. I think it's because of the fact that the whole in kayfabe, right? In kayfabe, R-Truth just wants John Cena, and I think this is just a holdover feud, so that when Cena versus Cody is done at SummerSlam, we can then go to Cena versus R-Truth at Clash in Paris, and this is just something to tide them over. I think that's what's happening here.
Okay. That can make sense, yeah.
But, yeah. I mean, I think Aleister Black for a feud against R-Truth, like, that's kind of a downgrade from his feud with The Miz and Carmelo Hayes. By the way, where the hell is Carmelo Hayes and The Miz? Where are they? Are they not?
He will show up probably next week when they're in Boston.
Oh, that's right.
Hopefully. Did you see, by the way, the props for Karrion Kross on Monday?
Yeah.
Dude, they were going nuts.
We want
and like the Providence Arena is small, so like there ain't a lot of people in there. And they were going nuts for Karrion Kross. But as with most people that are super over, Triple H does not want to push them because we have to push 48-year-old Randy Orton versus 55-year-old John Cena. Well, this is how we do things.
That's the main event scene, just old geriatric wrestlers who try to spam finishers. That's why they got Goldberg back. He can increase that age average for main eventers by like 10 years with how old he is. But yeah, I mean, yeah, Aleister Black is, I think, destined for better things, and him going up against R-Truth, this is just a holdover so he can go up against Damon Priest and get his feud there. And as I said, R-Truth is probably going to go to John Cena, but yeah. Aleister Black winning by pinfall, that could be, yeah. I think R-Truth
I was going to have Ron Killings win, but then I was like, well, I think they want to keep Aleister Black hot, so I think they're going to have Aleister Black win, because I don't think it benefits them to have Aleister Black lose to Ron Killings, so...
He lost to R-Truth? What the hell?
Because I thought it would be the more interesting option, then I was like, no, Road Dogg picks the simplest option, so the simplest option is having Aleister Black win.
Oh, you didn't know that you can just pick the simplest option? Great joke. Anyway,
yes.
we're going to move on to the main event.
Okay. Main event. I have a very small card because they're moving it back to 2 hours, so I'm
thank
booking
God.
This so that thank God. Thank God, bro. Tag and team title match, Street Profits Wyatt 6. Unfortunately, I think the Wyatt 6 win this one. Why do I say unfortunately? Because don't know what they're trying to do with the Wyatt 6. Like, are they heel? Are they face? Are they in between? Are they supernatural? Are they not? Are we doing that spooky dookie bullshit anymore? Like, what are they doing exactly? Like, I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't know either. I mean, like you said with Aleister Black, or our Truth rather, they came in with a lot of fanfare, and then they were just like, I don't know, let's just pick random people to go after. And this is where we're
See,
at now.
if they're gonna be like a dominating faction in the tag team division, right? You have them like you'd have to have them show. I, mean, I guess they're like face, right? But like you'd have to have them
Oh
fight
no.
basically every week and like show up, show up on every show basically, and like wreck the tag team division. But they've only won like 3 matches, and everybody's
Yeah.
scared of them. And I'm like, I don't know. It just seems like they're fumbling the bag with this. Um,
Yeah.
but we'll see. We'll see how this match goes out. How this match plays out. But I think the Wyatt Six win this one, and they have new tag team champions.
I agree.
I
Who
wonder
do you think
if
will be?
they.
Yeah.
I wonder if they go for unification.
Oh, I think that's the best option,
I
considering.
I, I
Yeah.
do. Yeah, considering that Raw is very weak.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Like, oh, I don't know. Maybe at like Survivor Series they can unify the tag team championships. Maybe. Although I don't know how long Raw can sustain itself with the tag team picture until Survivor Series. But yes, I do think that tag team titles should be unified, and it needs to be challenged by both Raw and SmackDown tag teams moving forward after it's unified. But I don't think it's gonna happen. We'll just see. Maybe they're gonna add more tag teams to Raw from NXT, but yeah, I mean that's like the only other option that they can do, at least at this point. So who? So you're saying Fraxium is the first one after the White Six win? Any other potential contenders?
You could have Andrade and Ray Phoenix as a tag team. As sort of like a store brand LWO. Um, you could
Uh-huh.
have that. You could have Pretty Deadly if when they get back. You could have them contend again, but I think it's Fraxium to start off with.
Nah, he hates Pretty Deadly. Triple H does not like Pretty Deadly. I'm sorry.
He's racist and homophobic.
He hates disco. You heard it here, folks. Triple H hates disco. He wants it gone forever. Go back to
We should bring
NXT.
back Disco Inferno.
Hashtag Disco Inferno as manager for Pretty Deadly. That's how we get ratings gold, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep.
All right. Well, that's it. As Mike said, I mean, it's going to be a 2 hour show and not much to build for Saturday night's main event. It's probably going to be more of a build up for Evolution anyway. So that's it, I guess. Until the next episode of this show, which is next week, I guess. And we are going to give you our scores after we watch that episode. And until then, thanks so much for ordering a blue cheese pizza. Call probably next week on Smackdown at Grapperinos. And remember, if you are down for some fresh, oven-baked, crispy wrestling content, then stop on by Grapperinos and order yourself some content you can grapple with. See you next time, Grapperinos.